So following on from my chat yesterday about Tube, Amanda Dupont, and Mac G, I said I'd unpack some of the other details or some of the other information that I think was important for me and should be important for some of you. Mulimo Maruhanye seems to come from a home where his mom is considered a thug. She was arrested back in 2008. I'm not sure if she's still in jail or not, but she set up a school for kids that are victims of political violence, other forms of violence that have been abandoned. And she managed to get a lot of hype, and she managed to get over $1 million from Oprah Winfrey, over $100,000 from an NBA basketball player. She got support from Brad Pitt, from Chris Tucker. And it came out later that the school was a scam and that she'd coached the kids to say some of the things that they'd said that were not true. So she'd scammed some of the biggest names in world entertainment, unfortunately. When she was charged, it also came out that she had kidnapped school kids. She had been responsible for arson being setting fire to property, and house breakings as well. Amanda Dupont had said in her video that she was scared of Jub's mom. Some people have said that Jub's mom, Mama Jackie in Naturena, was known as a thug, and a lot of people were scared of her. So you have to try and consider the type of mindset that Jub has from a mother that raised him, and the type of education and values that she'd instilled in him. Not to blame his mom. You always, as a person, have to take full accountability for your actions. But just to maybe understand why maybe he engaged in some of the rubbish that he engaged in. In his video, he spoke about how he used to throw house parties and people would sleep with each other there. There'd be condoms, and his mom would be like, "Hi man, go right to jive, but why in your bana in my yard?" Almost making it sound like she was a cool mom, but at the same time, a practical mom. At the same time, a mom who seemed to be kind of fine with some of the funny behavior that was happening. I don't want to speak too much about the Kelly Kumalo thing. Jub had mentioned that Ukeli had used Muti on him. And unfortunately, had said that if you look at Ukeli Kumalo and Amanda Dupont, it doesn't make sense how Ukeli Kumalo took him away from Amanda. So his mom told him that it was Muti. Again, you've got a mother who just believes that a girl used Muti on her child. And you find a lot of men today that excuse their behavior, excuse their obsession with a woman, and believe it's Muti. It's used the other way as well, where a woman will be like, "I don't know why I stayed with him for so long, even though he was abusing me. He probably used some kind of Muti." It's a very sad and lame excuse. Understanding that Muti exists, but the type of Muti that makes a person stay with you, in my personal opinion, obviously, I don't see Muti like that being effective, unless if you're going to compare it with nice smelling perfume, or you're going to compare it with certain spices and sauces that a person puts in food to a point where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I miss her perfume. I can't wait to see her, to smell her perfume. I miss her cooking. There was this sauce, there was the spice she used to use." So to me, if anyone were to put Muti in your food, if anyone were to put Muti in your drink, for me, it would be something similar to that. Good, nice smelling perfume, lack of spices. If ever it's something like addictive drugs, cocaine, where someone, once they ingest that thing, they can't stay away from you because they want you to give them that drink, etc., etc. But it was very unfortunate to hear of that, and it gave us a glimpse into part of the reason why Kelly Kumalo may not want Jub to be around his son. Going back to Amanda and Jub in particular, I've had these conversations with a lot of people over the last couple of days regarding the legal implications of what may happen. Apparently 2 days ago, Amanda Dupont's lawyer was on television or was on radio, I'm not quite sure, but they said they are still investigating whether there actually is a case so that they can advise Amanda Dupont in whether to open a case or not. Masichaba Ndlovu, who's now Masichaba Kumalo, has yet to come forward and let us know if she's opening a case as well, if she's got any evidence. Like I'd said, rape is a very complex and gray matter. There's two videos that I've made before. I realized you can check them out on my YouTube channel. The one is titled DJ Fresh, Euphonic, Mac G, Strava, and the Complexities of Rape. The other one is the Ngugai Toby rape case, where I give some of my thoughts around the complexities and the grayness of rape. I don't want to rehash a lot of the stuff that I said there. You can hear it when I say it there. One of the comments that came out yesterday was the fact that Amanda is now married to a white man. And people have said that a lot of black people and white people that used to date black people had sex with black people. Once they cross over to the white world, they almost want to whitewash their past. Meaning that they want to remove all evidence of, in the past, ever dating, ever sleeping with a black person. It doesn't only happen with relationships, it happens with friendships as well, apparently. Where some people, once they cross over to the other side being getting into the white community, they don't want to speak about their black past. This may well be true. I don't know. What I will say is that a lot of females, once they get married, would like to, as far as possible, wipe out their dating and sexual history, especially if it's linked to unsavory characters. For a long time, I judged Umini Dlamini for dating Utumele Nkune. Mostly because I think Ukune loves women. Is constantly commenting and liking women's posts on Instagram. Because I don't think he has a great grapple on language, not just English, but even when he speaks isiZulu and other languages. And look, maybe I've got beef with soccer players. It didn't make sense why a girl of the caliber of Minnie Dlamini would be with Itumeleng Khune. And at the time, I figured maybe she was chasing clout. You know, made me wonder even with Amanda, like I said, young girl that after hanging around this popular boy, Jub Jub, after Jub Jub, she went and she dated a guy like Casper Nyovest, being in his music video. And I think Casper has said in interviews before that he was with Amanda and he fucked with Amanda Pont. You know, and it seemed like he tossed it to the side as well. So we have to worry about some of these women that chase clout, that date men for their own profiles, to rub shoulders with the who's who of the country. It's unfortunate that I'll mention this lady's name. I think Dr. Kanyile, Wits Med student who, Wits Med school graduate who had dated Ukaya Dlanga and I think another popular guy as well. And it's life, right? All of us are trying to make it in life. We're trying to get somewhere. A Bonang will date Slicker and then date Euphonic and then date Debanj and then date AKA. Sometimes it's because those are the only people that are within your circles. Sometimes those are the only people that actually understand your lifestyle. Sometimes it's to boost your brand and your reputation. We've heard of stories in America where people claim to be dating each other, not because they're dating, but to boost each other's careers. You know. But going back, I wanted to mention that your sexual dating history becomes a problem when you get married, specifically for women. They almost want to wipe it clean. They want to get rid of it. And there's always the danger that if the guy is unsavory, guy is now a criminal, guy is known to have raped, to have been abusive, the girl might be like, you know, actually when I was with him, he did stuff like this. Actually, when I was with him, I never slept with him. You know, we've had stories of Okeli Kumalo saying she was a virgin before Jub Jub. I believe Nomzamo Mbata also claims she's still a virgin, holding out for marriage. I know she did date Kayam Teto at some point. Unfortunately, I judged her as well because Kayam Teto, it's a bit gayish. I take that back. But I do judge people based on who they date. It says a lot about the person, their ambitions, their personality, etc. So I wanted to cover that. We're going to see how this goes. Like I said before, I think Amanda was wrong to accuse MacG of being a rapist and an abuser. And hopefully she will retract in time. As with her and Jub Jub, we'll see if she opens a case effectively, and then we'll see what happens with the case. And then, yeah, the evidence of which, like I said, in my 2 other videos about rape, I speak about the difficulties of proving rape with the lack of evidence and those kind of things. Anything else that I think of, I'm going to note down. I'll make another video. But I just wanted to complete the video from yesterday, specifically about Jub Jub's upbringing, their relationship over the years, which I think I covered in my last video. And a lot of people obviously having issues with this idea that she was raped for 2 years straight, which seems unreasonable. And then I think I'd mentioned in my last video as well, this concept of sex that you regret not being rape. You know, there's a lot of time we sleep with people, not wanting to, they come home drunk, horny or whatever, and you end up succumbing. Even after you've said, no, I'm tired, you still kind of, you know, agree. And you're like, I kind of regret it. And in future, like I said, once you're committed, once it comes out, you may want to say I was raped when it wasn't actually rape. It's just sex that you didn't really enjoy. But I'll stop there for now. This is Penny the Black Pen, and I hope that you'll have a really great day. Cheers.